And I also remind you to start the recording.
Hello?
Yeah.
Finally,
Okay. Here is Jim Marshall. He's going to be on my phone.
Great. We appreciate it. Well, it is 3 o'clock and I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please be advised that as per protocol, this meeting has been broadcast in all the appropriate places. There is a simultaneous feed going on and the meeting is being recorded. This is a virtual meeting as per the emergency order signed by Governor Lee that extends that emergency through October 28th. So we are no longer in violation. We would not be in violation of the open meetings law. To that extent, I will now see if there are any public who would like to make a comment. We've not had any request of it. We do have one member of the public with us, and that is Barbara Adcock, and she is the director of the Stokes Brown Library in Springfield. And Barbara, we welcome you and hope you enjoy our meeting.
Thank you.
I note that we do have a quorum, and so that we may conduct business. And as we conduct, Matthew Ellis is monitoring us, but as he is in his office and has other considerations and things that are going on, he is muting his video so that he is with us, but is not visible on our screen. In reference to our minutes have been distributed. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Was that Jason?
Yes, sir.
Jason makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was that the second?
Second by Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, thank you. Is there any discussion or amendments that we need to make to the minutes? Hearing none, I will call roll call as per protocol for approval and acceptance of the minutes. Ron, yay or nay? Ron, yay or nay?
Sorry, I muted everybody.
Oh, Ron, yay or nay? You're muted, Ron.
He's working on it, I think.
Mike.
okay, yay, yay.
Yay, okay. Jacqueline,
Yay. She says yay.
Matthew, didn't hear from Matthew. Jason? Yay or
Yep.
nay? Yay. Jim Marshall?
Yay.
Okay, the motion to approve the minutes has been passed. Thank you. Ron, would you please give us the treasurer's report?
Okay, if you look at your sheet, let me get to it here. I'm going to do the summary. The contributions and gifts from the second Gracie check was received, so therefore, along with the county contribution, we are exactly even on revenues. The standard is 25% exactly, and it's 24.95%. Under expenses, the personnel code is slightly under budget, so it's 23.05% versus the 25. The operating expenses are quite a bit lower, 15.77%. Supplies are lower, 15.17. And then the total expenses are much below budget at 21.09% versus the 25. If there are any specific questions about categories, I could answer them.
do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
Motion to accept.
Jason makes a motion. Do I have a second?
Jacqueline seconds.
Jacqueline seconds. Is there any further discussion on the treasurer's report? Hearing none, we call for a roll call for approval of the treasurer's report as submitted. Ron, yay or nay?
Yay.
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 Jacqueline, yay or nay?
Yay.
Matt,
Did you
yay
hear
or nay?
Yay,
Jason,
yay,
Yeah.
Jim,
Yay.
and I vote yay as well. The treasurer's
Can you
report
hear me,
is
Joe?
accepted as submitted. Ron, I believe you have a
Asking
budget.
if you heard him.
I'm
Get
sorry.
Matthew's asking if you heard his vote.
Yes, I did, Matthew. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Ron, I believe you have a budget amendment to make.
Yes, I do. One is amendment to the budget number. Well, okay. The HVAC expenses are going to be greater than we expected because it's coming off of warranty. Therefore, we want to take $5,000 or add that to that budget number. That's code number 53180. I'm sorry, we want to reduce 53180 by $5,000 and transfer that money to expense code 53350, which is maintenance and repair. So that will give us a total of $12,000 in maintenance that'll cover that expense.
Okay, you're making the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Jason seconds. Martha, would you like to explain the motion for the board?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. We're having more trouble with the HVAC. This may not be the only time I ask you for a budget amendment because who knows how much it's going to cost over the year. But we have very low costs on the debt collection service. We forgave so many fines and we extended so many due dates that I think we paid like $47 so far this year for debt collection. And it normally would be several, maybe $3,000. So I felt like that was a good line item to take it from and transfer to HVAC. If y'all have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Are there any other questions? Hearing none. Ron, yay or nay?
Yay.
Jacqueline, yay or nay?
Yay!
Matthew, yay or nay?
Yay,
Thank you, Matthew. Jason, yay or nay?
Yeah.
Jim, yay or nay?
Yay.
The budget amendment is approved unanimously. Thank you.
Could you ask Joel, just for, I don't think he
Yay.
voted.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that Joel was there. You with us now, Joel?
I am.
Oh,
Yay.
good, thank you. And you vote yay. Great. My apologies, I didn't know you were with us.
No problem.
Director's report. Martha, I know you have an extensive report you'd like to share with us.
Okay. Can you all see my screen? The director's report is up
Yes.
theoretically. Is Dottie going to be at the meeting? I'm not seeing her in a waiting room at all.
Yes, Dottie told me this morning she was going to be here.
Okay. Okay. So starting with the director's report, I just want to report the Jason Camp hire as the public services supervisor is working out extremely well, even better than we had hoped, and we're really thrilled to have him. We'll be doing some more interviews, a number of interviews for the full-time TSA position in the next few days. We're going to be waiting on filling the cataloger position until we get some more information from our library consultant, Tricia Bengal, because the duties of that will probably change. We're also holding off on the shelter interviews for right now, but they'll be coming up soon as well. Online programming, if you take a look at your packet, there's a colorful insert done by Jessica Hartley, did a great job kind of explaining what's going on with online programming, how many were produced, and things like the fact that 17 different people have led these programs, which is a really good thing. We want to get different faces in front of the public. Even though they can't come in person, they can still experience us online. A program I wanted to point out that has not yet been finished, and David is working hard to make it a really polished online presentation, and this is called our version of Who Do You Think You Are, which is kind of a genealogy program. And so Raymond Rosato is doing the genealogy of Jackie Warfield, who's an African-American employee of ours, the technical services supervisor, and they've done things like visiting the cemetery and actually finding out that the cemetery was not very well maintained for African-Americans. Kind of an eye-opener if you look at it. I'm really looking forward to seeing that video and Jackie's reaction and to some of the things that are revealed about her family genealogy. So that's a good one that you all can hopefully tune in and see that the library is producing. And the things we're doing are just getting more and more professional looking, I think, because of David's experience. We're very fortunate. The library consultant, Tricia Bengal, did visit the library. We talked to her. She talked to Jackie and others. She did a tour of the library. The good news is she found a number of things that looked really good. The shelves, she was very complimentary of the shelves and the way the library looks, that sort of thing. And I'll give you a full report on what she talked about and what recommendations are at the November meeting, but just looking at the changes that we want to make in the area of technical services. Right now, we don't have certain quotas that they have to meet, the number of items that they catalog every day or every week or every month. So we're going to look at these kinds of specifics. We're also going to flesh out the policy about collection management, that sort of thing. So we had some really good meetings, and there's a lot more to discuss and ponder, say, about that. But it went well. Staff day also went well. It was a half a day. We wanted to let our staff go and do their own self-care in the afternoon with COVID and all the hardships that everybody's been enduring. I wanted to show you, this is why I'm dressed in a T-shirt today. This is the front of the T-shirt that you all approved the other month. The back of it says mystical library, mystical book ninja. And we're really pleased with the way these T-shirts turned out, and I think that staff really liked getting a T-shirt at staff day. We had some good speakers, including Valerie Guzman, who always does a great job. And we had some kind of discussions that got intense at times with people talking about what they needed to talk about at that meeting, and had some fun playing games, and it was a really good staff day. And then I want to talk about the technology plan a little bit, so let me see if I can get this up. Every 3 years, we need to have a new, here's another, I'm going to admit, I think this must be Dottie. Hopefully that's her. Dottie, are you there?
I am now, but I can barely hear you.
Okay.
That's a little better.
Okay, I'll try to speak up.
Okay.
3 years.
I don't know what has happened, but I cannot get into anything on my computer. It's just,
Okay.
it's just, you know, I don't know. Anyway, here I am.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're here. At least by phone. So every 3 years, we put together a technology plan. So it used to be required by the state. It's not necessarily required if we're not going to be applying for grants, but it's a good thing to have. It used to be that we had a $5,000 budget for hardware, and we've gone up to $22,000 because we have so many computers in the building. And I just want to go over it real quickly with you and see if you would be willing to approve it. Let me get this thing out of the way. So just kind of a narrative overview of what we've done and the importance of digital services. I'm not going to read that to you. Obviously, it's very important that we level the playing field for the residents of Montgomery County as the library. Some of the things that we've done in the last 3 years, and of course, if you have a plan, as I say, and you execute the plan, good things happen. And we met all of the goals that we had before, one of which was to upgrade the computer. For the second time, the computer lab, all those machines, except for a few, have been replaced and upgraded. We replaced both of the servers for the circulation system, the web and data server. So right now, we have both of them on site. That's going to change in the future, I hope. We bought a couple of more of the AWE interactive computers for the children's department, so now we have 4 of them. We have laptops that we purchased for the director and the assistant director, and thank God for those, because we had to use both of them today because we had the 2 Zoom meetings back to back. New meeting rooms all have the presentation hardware, so people that use those rooms can have the best meetings possible. We replaced all of the low voltage wiring, all of the computer cabling infrastructure was replaced. Of course, you know, there were a few glitches that happened with that, but overall it was a very good thing. And then we added the touch-mounted pack screens to give us a nice clean look upstairs and got rid of some more of the oaky type furniture, so it's just much cleaner looking. And I want to do some more of that in the future. Added teen computers to the refurbished teen space, and also did a wall-mounted pack there. And of course, the big thing was that we purchased that lovely AMH machine. Again, a little shaky start to begin with, but it's functioning really well now, and gives us a more accurate check-in, and it frees up staff for other things. I'm really pleased with how that has turned out, looking back on it. So for the next 3 years, we'll continue to replace things. I'm not planning on applying for a state technology grant anytime soon. Had not a good experience last time, and they're giving us relatively small amount of money. It's almost not worth the time and frustration to do that. In terms of the North Branch Library, obviously it's been delayed. But when that happens, right now the library, we used to be like a mom and pop, almost like a cobbled together residential type situation with computers. And now we've moved up to small business is what I would call us right now. It sort of functions pretty well, but once we get to the level where we have two libraries, we really need to move up to the enterprise or business level, the true enterprise level. And that's been confirmed by county IT, and they're willing to come into budget hearings and at that time. And so instead of having on-site servers for the email and for the circulation system, we would then go to the cloud. So we're I describe us as like a library that has modest means, but it has a rich uncle. The rich uncle, however, doesn't pay the rent, but this person is able to. So we were able to buy $40,000 servers, but we're not able to pay $15,000 extra or $20,000 extra a year to have a cloud service. And so what I'm looking at is that we need to go to the cloud for email and for circulation system once we get to the ask for the new branch library, if that makes sense. Some of the other goals, I'm not going to go through every single one of them. Just a lot of replacement in 20 and 21. We're going to be buying a lot of laptops because our laptops are old. Our supervisors now need to have laptops so they can work from home, or if they need to give presentations, they have that flexibility and they have what they need to do their job. 21, 22, these laptops that Christina and I have need to be replaced. We'll replace all of the OPACs, the online public access catalogs, the PCs in genealogy. 22, 23, replace all the supervisor and support staff, their PCs. Replace all the circulation desk computers. And again, this is the move to the enterprise level services. Hopefully the library will be under construction. And that'll be ready to, we'll have to ask for operating budget for that library. So that's kind of the big overall plan. And then if you look at the other thing that I sent, it's just kind of a breakdown of the actual machines and what would be replaced each year. And you can see all the barcodes, Ron, that are associated with each of these computers.
Yeah, okay.
That identify them individually. Of course, things change, and so in the plan it says we look at it each year and make sure that that's exactly what we need to do that year, or if there's something comes up where something breaks and we need to do something a little different, we can be flexible, but overall, we want to have this plan so that we make sure that all of this happens over the next 3 years. So that was a lot. Please let me know if you have questions or comments about any of this.
Cloud
you.
service, so you think, Martha, you think cloud service is the future as opposed to the servers? That's what you're
So I
saying?
think for now, I wish we could be doing it right now, but it's just a matter of ongoing operational costs versus the cost of buying a server. Yeah, it's definitely the future, in my opinion, and everybody that I talk to.
Okay.
Jason Knight would be the one to chime in on this, right?
Jason?
Yes, cloud services is the future. It definitely is.
Is there any other discussion, any questions on Martha's presentation? If not, I'm going to amend the agenda. You will notice under new business, it says approval of the 3-year technology plan. Now that we have had it presented to us and it's fresh in our minds, I would entertain a motion to approve the technology plan.
I so move, Ron.
Ron moves it. Do I have a second?
Second, Joel.
Jason seconds.
No, that was Joe.
Joel, I'm sorry. Joel seconds the motion. Is there any further discussion or any questions that you would like to ask? Hearing none, let me call the roll. Please say yay or nay. Ron,
Yes, yes.
Joel,
Yes.
Jacqueline,
Yes.
Matthew,
Yes.
thank you.
And I'm here now.
Okay, I've got you.
Can
Yes.
you mute
Jason?
your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, yay or nay?
Yes.
Jim, yay or nay?
Yay.
And Donnie, yay or nay?
Yay, I'm in now, finally.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, the technology plan, 3-year technology plan is approved. Thank you, Martha, for a very good report. Cecilia, would you please tell us what's going on with the Red River region?
Sure, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. First of all, I just want to say how happy I am to see Michelle on this call. As she said, she's down from, she's the director at Stokes Brown Public Library in Springfield. She's in our region, in the Red River region. And I asked her to join. I talked to Martha about this too. I think they both Martha and Michelle have kind of unique positions in the fact that they're leading level 5 libraries and very successful ones. And I think it's always, I'm glad that they both are so willing to share and teach each other. And Martha is always a great leader for us, and we often lean on Martha, and I'm very appreciative of that. I just want to mention that before I say anything else. And I also want to tell you how happy I am that the Czech presentation yesterday went well. I saw a lot of board members show up, and Janet was there from the regional office, and I saw some nice pictures, and I think it looked like a well-attended event. So kudos to you for that. Every year we do the standard survey, and now we have the report ready, and we'll send that out to you after this meeting. I shouldn't complain about this, but it's a little bit boring to discuss this with you because I think I found like 3 or 4 no's on the report. So I guess it's a good problem to have, but you do so well and you meet most of those standards that are in that booklet. So I think it just means that we need to make it a little bit harder, but I shouldn't complain. I know Martha's shaking her head, but you're doing a good job. A couple of things that I noticed, and one thing that I will talk about forever, and that's the trustee certification program. That's the really the one thing that you don't meet that I would like for you to meet, that all the board members complete that certification program. That would be great. I know that Martha said that she wouldn't apply for the tech grant this year, but maybe someday in the future. And it's also part of our library service agreement now that we really are encouraging all the board members to complete the certification program. So hopefully that will be done this year.
I'm in a Zoom meeting. This is an emergency.
And the other one that you have, and you and so many other libraries, is that one standard that says that at least 2 items per capita. I think right now you have 1, but that's one that you are sharing with a lot of other libraries. I'm not going to talk too much about that one. And then another one that is also not very big, but it's library provides privacy and security training. It's one out of several topics that we ask libraries to train on, and it doesn't look like you're doing that right now. So very, very few standards, and I'll send you that report after this meeting so you can have a look at it and see how well you do.
I've been asking, I asked our new PSA, Public Service Supervisor, to get on the one about providing the training for privacy and security. So I definitely want to get that one under our belt this year.
Yeah, it's probably one of those that will be very helpful for a lot of patrons. I would imagine that this is something that people are struggling with in general. Next week, there is a 10-share conference, Fall Fest. Is happening next week. That is a conference that is usually held at the Nashville Public Library. It's something that I always look forward to attending. This year is going to be virtual, so that conference is happening next week, and they will actually have it over starting from the 27th till the 30th. So it's a little bit longer, and I think they're only having sessions in the afternoon. But that has gone out on the listserv. If any of the board members would be interested in joining that conference, it is free, and I will can send that out in an email to you too, so you have that available. I'll send that with the standards report. State and federal funding, all of that has been released to all the libraries because all of our libraries have completed their MOE and got that signed. So we're very happy as a regional office. We're very pleased with that, and that where we are with that. We are asking each library to spend at least half of their money before December 15th. And we're going to be pushing on that deadline quite a bit this year. We found that last year we had to work a little bit hard in the spring due to COVID-19, but also other reasons. And we're trying to spread that spending out throughout the year. So we'll be sending out emails about that to Martha and to Jackie, sorry. I'm messing with the name, sorry. We are having a couple of training sessions before Christmas. We're going to have a leadership session on November 6th. It's actually for rural libraries, but I think all libraries probably would enjoy that session with Alice Stevens, who's a mover and shaker from Arkansas. She was named mover and shaker from the Library Journal, I think it's called, Library Journal, a couple of years ago, and she will be presenting that for us, and that will be all virtual, so she's not actually coming to the regional office, but she will do it on WebEx. And then on December 8th, we will have a session on meeting the tech standards. And Ray Mitchell, who is our PC tech, will be conducting that together with Melanie Estel. So that will probably be a hybrid presentation. So some people will be in the office here and some will be online. And that's, I think, all I have.
Okay. Thank you, Cecilia. Well, I just have 2 comments. First, so we've met almost all of the standards. Now you want to make them harder. Is this the personification of no good deed shall go unpunished?
No, I'm not the one who makes that decision, so you're lucky there.
If I remember correctly, the usual October trustees workshop has been postponed. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is
Do we
correct.
have any idea when or if it will be this year, or we're just going to skip this year and go to next year?
I'm glad you asked that. I should have mentioned that myself. Actually, last year and before this COVID-19 started, the whole this whole period started, we had actually decided that we were going to cancel this year's trustee workshop, and not because of anything except the fact that we were moving into new state library. So a lot of the staff wouldn't have time to be able to prepare it. So. But we are working on next year's trustee workshop. We do have some good ideas for location and topics already. It's not final yet, so I don't want to say anything yet. But we're planning for it. We're hoping it's going to be in person.
Thank you. I
What
never
can I
did
ask a
see.
question? What is the status of the state library construction?
So the construction is well underway. I think the plan is for the TSLA staff or state library staff to start moving in February. I think the grand opening is going to be sometime in April. So that's what I know so far. And we'll send out dates and updates on that as soon as we have some.
Thank you. Is Jennifer Ford with us? I haven't seen you, Jennifer.
Now, Jennifer asked me to report that we have
You want to come
not
over here?
asked for any funding. In case you couldn't hear me, Jennifer did contact me, and because we have not had any requests from the library, we have nothing new to report other than we are working on a lot of policies ourselves, and that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Committee reports. The chair of the policy committee, of course, is Joyce. She had some eye surgery this afternoon. And so Dottie has volunteered to make the committee report. Dottie?
Okay, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I wasn't, for some reason, the page that has the mute, unmute link has just vanished. I still can see you all, but I can't see that. So I wasn't sure if my mic was on or not. Okay, the policy committee met on the 15th of October, and we went over 4 policies as far as approving some modifications, clarification of language and such. And those have been sent to the board members, and that includes policy 1.06, which has been renamed Special Projects Checking Account, and then policy 3.01 on library cards, policy 3.04 on the schedule of fines and fees, and policy 3.05 on fine waiving. And I'm wondering if any of the board members have questions about any of those policies or the rationale of our changes or whatever.
So Dottie, you're making a motion to approve these policies.
That's what I was going to do. But, well, I guess I should make the motion first and then ask for questions. So on behalf of the policy committee, I move that these 4 policies that have been revised to be adopted for the policy manual.
Thank you.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Jason seconds. Thank you. Martha, I think that you wanted to explain 1 or 2.
Yes, and then we can find out if anybody has any changes that they'd like to see. So just as I put in an email to the policy committee, the collection management policy, I think I mentioned earlier that Tricia Bengal would like to see us expand that policy. So instead of working on it twice, I thought we would just delay the revision of that until we get her suggestions. 3.02 refunds for lost damaged items. That has been in the policy manual. However, after looking at it, Christina and I realized that it was really not a policy, it was procedure. So we want to remove that from the policy manual. And the 1.06, the spending policy for the foundation account, I had both 1.06 and 5.00 were the same policy. So I would like to keep the 1.06 and delete the 5.00. That was just done in error. And then I think you want to say something
Okay.
about 2.03. Gerald.
Okay, what is the other one that you think we need to delete, Martha?
5.00.
Is that the only one?
That's the one that's duplicated
Okay,
The other one was 3.02.
in 3.02.
so Dottie, are you willing to
Yes,
amend
yes.
your motion
I was,
to
I didn't, I
eliminate
guess I thought I was
3.02
gonna,
and 5.00?
yes, yes, add that to the motion.
Jason,
We'd
are
have
you
to-
willing to add that to your second?
We'd have to make a separate motion to amend and then go back to the initial motion based off of Robert's rules. I'm sorry, I'm
That's okay.
parliamentarian.
So Dottie, you're making it a motion for an amendment to eliminate,
Okay, I shall make a motion to amend the original motion to add these considerations to delete to delete policy 5.00, which is a duplication, and to delete policy 3.02, which is actually a procedural issue rather than a policy issue.
Jason, will you second this motion as well?
I second the motion to delete policy 502.
Okay, right at this moment, we have a motion to amend the original motion. And we need to take a vote on that. Ron, yay or nay?
He's muted.
Ron, you're muted.
Okay, aye.
Joel,
Aye.
Jacqueline,
Aye.
Matthew,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Dottie.
Aye.
Okay, so the motion to amend the original motion has been made. So the original motion now reads to approve the, I can't remember the numbers, Dottie, but to approve those,
3.06, 3.01, 3.04, and 3.05.
and to eliminate 3.02 and 5.0. Does
Yes.
everyone understand the motion as it now stands? We'll call roll. Ron, yea or nay?
I'm gonna have to back you up. One, we made the motion. Now we need a second on this one.
Okay, I thought you had seconded.
Well, I'll second it now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Ron is now with us.
I'm-
Joel?
Aye.
Okay, Ron is the aye. Joel?
Yes.
Jacqueline?
Yes.
Matthew?
I think he vanished. I think he missed.
Yeah, he's probably doing something else. Jason?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Dottie?
Yes.
Okay, so the 4 policy changes as recommended have been approved, and 3.02 and 5.0 policies have been removed. Thank you. In reference to policies, I just want to put something in your minds. One of the policies that the policy committee looked at was 4.03, honoring donors and benefactors. And quite frankly, we pulled that from the agenda. And the reason is that there's going to be some recommendations, some things, some people are going to donate money and so forth to the North Branch. What we need to do is to develop a subcommittee. We recommended the name of Recognition Subcommittee so that we can set the parameters of anything that we need to do for recognition for the North Branch. And that includes such things as naming the building, naming rooms, and so forth. And one of the things that the committee agreed on is that we need to have more input than just board members. And so what I'm asking you to do now is to be putting some thought into this. Who from in the community would be someone good and that would help us toward this goal of setting the parameters for the recognitions that are going to have to occur with the North Branch Library. So we don't need to do anything today. I just want you to begin thinking about it, and any suggestions that you make, that you may have, please share with Martha and I. Martha, you had something?
No, sir, that sounds good.
Okay, thank you. Ron, would you like to talk about the Gracie Trust Dissolution Committee?
Yes, we had a meeting at 2:15 this afternoon on Zoom, and our committee adopted tentatively, well, we adopted a resolution that basically says to the Gracie Trust that we will have those funds transferred to the foundation, and that those funds can be used for operating expenses by the Board of Trustees as part of our normal budget. There will be additional motions concerning this later on. This Gracie Fund will not be distributed until 2022. So we're about a year and a half away. So it's still, but we're just trying to get ready for that possibility, that potential, that point. We're talking about 2000, it'll be 2022. I don't know that I'm explaining it that well. Can you help me out a little bit on it?
Yeah, let me just add a couple of things. For your information, just to give you background, the Gracie Fund has been in existence for a number of years. It will mature on July of 2022. There are 4 benefactors to that. The library is one of those benefactors. When the trust fund matures in 2022, it was set up so that all remaining funds out of the corpus will be distributed among those 4 benefactors, including the library. We do not know exactly how much money we're going to get, but Martha says that maybe somewhere in the neighborhood of $3 million, plus or minus. So what we needed to do, what we still need to do, is to decide how we're going to manage those funds. There are several ways to do that. We could manage them ourselves. We could hire a new money manager, or we could go to the foundation board. So what we have been talking about with the budget committee is, would the foundation board be willing to manage these funds for us? Joel has done a good job in working with Jack Mitchell off the foundation board to develop a resolution. And this resolution says that they will manage those funds, and those funds will be managed by them. And then there will be money given to the library out of that sub account of the Gracie funds. Now, what we as a board have to do is to decide how we're going to handle that. What we're going to begin looking at is the development of a motion that will transfer the money when we receive it to the foundation board. And then we're going to set the parameters of how much money they need to give us every year. The foundation board is going to agree that we, the Board of Trustees, have full jurisdiction over any funds given to us, and that we do not have the restrictions that we now have with the foundation money. With the foundation money, we can't use that money for operating expenses. We are stating explicitly in this that any money out of the Gracie sub-account can, in fact, has to be used as a part of our operating expenses. And we've been talking about several amounts, anywhere from $130,000 to $140,000 a year. And this is necessary to supplement our budget. Did I cover everything correctly, Martha?
Very good.
Sounds good, yes.
Joel?
Great job.
Thank you. All right, so what we're going to do then as the budget committee is to develop a motion that has to come back to the full board. And then Joel also suggested, and I think this is very realistic. Joel and Ron both did. What we need to be doing is to check with Gracie Fund and see if there are any restrictions or anything, how we can go about transferring these funds. We want to know, Ron made a suggestion, can we transfer the assets rather than have to cash them all in? That may or may not happen because there are so many benefactors and how they would spread that out. So Martha is going to call the people at Gracie. They're going to see if there are any restrictions, what they are, and she will bring those back to the budget committee. And then we will adopt a motion that we hope that our board will fully adopt. We will send a copy of that to the Gracie folks as well as to the foundation. And that should get everything done. We've got a year and a half on this. And so I know we can get all of this done during that period of time. This is just for your information. We don't want to let this drop. This is a huge thing in our financial future, and we have to make sure that we're doing it correctly and meeting all the legal requirements as well as the fiscal requirements.
This is Ron. I failed to thank the people you talked about, as well as Steve Kimmer. They've been talking back and forth, and I appreciate the time and effort they spent involved in coming up with this resolution. So thank you.
Joel and Jack Mitchell especially worked very hard to develop this resolution.
Yes, they did.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Ranch Library update. Martha, would you like to share with us our meeting with the mayor?
Sure. So the purpose of the meeting was we'd had a meeting with the mayor in Codell, and now the mayor wanted to have a meeting, Mayor Durrett, with all parties, Codell, construction, HBM architects, the designers of the building, and try to figure out how did it become $2 million over what we thought it was going to be. And it was kind of an interesting meeting. At one point, there was a little bit of tension and disagreement between HBM and Codell, who was the construction manager. That sort of dissipated quickly, and there was an agreement that HBM and Codell would get together themselves, which they should have been doing all along, try to figure out what this basic pricing is supposed to be. So there is no, they present it as a unit together. Once we get that baseline of pricing that they both agree upon that is correct, then we can go back to the mayor and decide whether we need to spend some money to have drawings redone, whether there are some low-hanging fruit that can be taken out, that Christina and I can go back and help figure out how we can have a substantially the same building at a lower cost. But right now we're in the stage, and they said it could be done relatively quickly. I'm hoping it will be, because we have a time constraint here before January and February to try to get our act together. So right now HBM and Codell are working together to make sure that they're on the same page with the pricing, so we can move forward and decide how to reduce the price of the project.
Kevin from HBM said that he thought they could get this resolved within a week or two. So that would be really good news, so we could progress. Thank you. Just a reminder to the board. I know several people have already. Our image evaluations are due. Please complete those evaluations if you have not, and send a copy to Martha. This is something important for us to do.
I've received 4 so far.
Did you get the one from Dottie yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so we're asking for the others to submit your image evaluations to Martha.
Carol, I have a question
Yes,
on
ma'am.
that. I had not noticed this before, but I noticed this time that it said we should be doing this at least every 3 years. And it seemed like we're doing it more frequently, but I could kind of understand since the library has just had a major refresh. And, so I felt like it was appropriate this year, but I'm wondering, seems like we've done it more frequently than that. Is that just our choice to do it more often, I guess, to
Yes.
have an analysis more often? Okay.
One of the things is, I think it's important for us as trustees, sometimes our responsibilities go further than just attending a meeting once a month. And I think it keeps us in touch with the library, what's going on, how it looks, and so forth. And this year particularly has been difficult because of the COVID-19 problem. We've had a lot of difficulties.
I was under the impression that it was required or strongly suggested by the state every year. If that's not true, we have been doing it
Well,
every year.
it says every 3 years somewhere on the form, so
Maybe Celia could
I
chime
don't
in
know
on
whether
that.
that may be a change from, I don't know whether that's a change or not, but I had not noticed it before, but I did this time. I don't think I misread it.
Are you still with us? Evidently not.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm here. I'm just trying to make sure. I think it's every 3 years too, but let me double check.
Okay. Well, I think that was me. I think that somehow I got the word that it was every year, so I've tried to make sure that happened.
So much for your
I don't know if we want to wait on Cecilia or have her chime in when she figures it. I think she says to wait until she can find it out. Maybe she'll let us know.
I'll let you know.
Okay, thank you. Under new business, we've already approved the 3-year technology plan. Martha, Ron, I think we have 3 special funding requests. You want to make a motion so that Martha can explain these?
Yes, one of them is on the special projects request. This is for furniture. There was an updated, I think, yeah, for the teaming. Okay, teaming room is a request for $4,710. That is for furniture. And Martha did tell me, showed me the other day, the nice conference room has been converted into a team room for internal conferences. And so I think it'll be a big benefit for communication within our staff. Anyway, $4,710, chairs, table, freight delivery, so on and so forth. So it's basically a conference table and all the chairs that go around with it. I move that we accept that. I tell you, let's do them all as one motion here.
Fine.
The second one is Envisionware under special projects, and this is the self-serve web terminal software package. These are the support packages, subscriptions, e-commerce, terminals, shipping, fees for installation, total of $4,000. This would come out of the special projects fund. And then the third one is the copies in a flash, library furniture, their printed signs for the nonfiction shelves, brackets, holders, spacers, shipping, total of $3,800. So all of these are special projects that come out of special projects funding. We've got the money plenty there. I'll make a motion that we approve these 3 additional projects.
Motion made.
Do I have a second?
No. Second.
Is that Joel?
No, this is Jason.
Jason, thank you. So the motion has been made that we approve 3 special projects requests. One for $3,000, one for $4,000, and one for $5,200. Martha, would you like to say anything about any of these?
Yeah, I was trying to share my doing the math overview that I normally share with you, and I couldn't seem to get it to share. I just want to let you know that the nonfiction, the signage for the nonfiction stacks originally had as $4,000. It was $2,200 less than I had estimated. The online credit card, I originally had it for $7,000. Well, after speaking to them, we had to buy fewer items, so it went down to 4, so that saved us $3,000. And then, but the furniture for the teaming room, along with the whiteboard, ended up being a little bit more than I thought. I had it for $4,000 and it went up to $5,200. But overall, it's still a savings of $2,000 from the estimate that I had. I was very pleased about that. So.
Thank you, Martha. Are there any questions about these 3 special project requests?
Okay. We have a correction from Jacqueline from what you said. Which one is it? Just verbally.
Yeah,
The special project request for the signs. You said, I think you said 3,000. It should be 3,800 in the motion.
I think my mistake was on the teaming room that the old piece that I had was 4710, but it was actually, the updated was 5,200. My mistake.
Okay, so the motion is to approve 3 requests, one for $3,800, one for $4,000, and one for $5,200.
Right.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Yep.
Donnie seconds. Is there any further discussion? Any questions? Hearing none, I'm going to call a roll. Ron?
Aye.
Renee?
Aye.
Aye. Joel?
Aye.
Jacqueline?
Aye.
Matthew?
Aye.
Thank you. Jason?
Aye.
Jim?
Aye.
Dottie?
Aye.
Thank you. The spending for these 3 items is approved. Is there any further business to bring before the board? Well, we can't get any closer to our 1 hour than this. Thank you, everybody. Do I have a motion? I'm sorry. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Hey,
Motion
Gerald?
to adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
Julia, I think, has
Second. I'll second.
Have a second. Donnie, was somebody wanting to make some statement?
Hey, Gerald, it's just Cecilia. I was just going to say that the image evaluation is every 3 years according to the standards.
3
Yeah.
years. Okay, thank you. Thank you for spotting that, Donnie. Okay, the motion has been made and approved. There's no further business before the board. We now have a motion to adjourn and a second. Let's see, Ron,
Aye.
Joel,
See you guys.
yeah, Jacqueline,
hey,
Matthew,
Aye.
Jason,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Dottie. Well, we appreciate Michelle being here. Michelle Adcock from Stokes Brown. Hope we didn't bore you too bad. And we wish everybody a good one. We'll see you guys in about a month. Thank you, everybody, for your help and your
Okay.
work.